Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with another episode of Ask Nathan. You're watching TFL Now, which is part of the TFL Car and TFL Truck Network. And thank you so much for those of you who have been sending questions in. We're getting a ton of them. So I don't want to delay too long, but I do need to address two little issues. And yes, I'm going to be using my little wimpy looking phone here yet again because it's better than cutting trees to get paper. There's a guy named Made Man who watches us. And recently we found the Ford GT testing at high elevation. And it looked awesome. It was all green and it looked like it was actually a military vehicle. So we chased it. And we got some good video. So this guy and others think that we staged this. So let me get this straight. You think that we contacted Ford and we said, hey, we know you spent $1 billion producing this car and trying to R&D and everything else, and each one of the test vehicles is priceless. But tell you what, little old TFL car, we want to go into the hills at the same time that you're there, and we want to film the car, and then we're going to act like we're surprised when we see it. I wish we were that big. I wish we were that cool, and I wish Ford would give us bags of money for doing it. But sadly, no. This is just us finding the car. We know where to go. We have a pretty good idea of what's going on. We have people who are in the hills who actually communicate with us. And to further the truth of this whole thing, those cars later, shortly after we spotted them on camera, well, they got pulled over for doing 101 in a regular traffic zone. So yes, we're not actors. We're not good actors, that's for damn sure. And more importantly, we weren't acting when we found that car and all the other cars that we find. We love to find these prototypes and test mules and get them to you. So, yeah, really, no, we're not staging this, I swear. Okay, and then the other question comes from somebody, and you didn't leave your name, but you were asking about our political points of view this time of year, especially, and with what's going on. What does the TFL crew believe? Who are we backing, blah, blah, blah. Nobody we're going to talk about. You know why? Because this is all about cars. You guys get bombarded by enough political crap on both sides, and it's just enough. So leave that stuff out. Come over to TFL and enjoy cars. That's all we talk about. Our own private stuff we take home with us. We do not talk about any of it, or religion, or race, or any of that stuff on camera, okay? It's all about cars. And occasionally motorcycles, and if Andre's involved, then maybe a U-boat or two. All right, so let's move on to question number 1 from Don. Don is a 63-year-old. He is in a quandary because he wants to drive to Santa Barbara from where he lives, which is a 230-mile drive. He really likes what he's seen in the Chevy Bolt. The Chevy Bolt it's all electric and it has a range of 238 miles. And what he wants to do is every few months drive into Santa Barbara from where he lives. 230 miles. Vehicle has 238 miles of range. Here's the problem, Don. If you get into traffic, if you have to go around something, if you pull off the freeway or whatever, these types of things mount up. Electric cars are not that forgiving when it comes to extending the range. This is its maximum range. If it were only 200 miles and you had an additional 38 miles of range, yeah, sure, you should be all right. That should be good. But if you're going all the way up from full all the way to empty, yeah, I wouldn't do that personally. That's range anxiety times 2. If you really want to do something like that, consider getting something that has a range extender, or perhaps something like the Prius Prime that Andre and I recently test drove, and the video's coming out on that shortly, by the way. That vehicle has like over 600 miles range. No problem getting to where you need to go. But in terms of an electric vehicle that only has 238 miles range and you're going 230 miles, I wouldn't recommend that. That's just too small of a margin. Thanks for the question, Don. Appreciate it. Okay, the next one comes from Benny. And Benny is out in the West Coast, on the East Coast. And he spends a lot of time in the city, but he likes to go out to the beach from time to time. He really likes the looks of the Toyota Tacoma, but he's also considering the Honda Ridgeline. And because you mentioned that you do a lot of driving in traffic in city, the Ridgeline is actually the best choice because it is just fantastic as a daily driver. It's very comfortable. However, if you're considering going out and driving on the beach and all that type of stuff, then the Toyota TRD is the maximum of what you need. Like the Sport, probably right where you need to be. Very few people need like the full, locking rear diff and all the other crazy stuff that you can get on the vehicle. Consider getting one of the lower level 4x4s and you'll most likely be just fine. Thank you so much for the question. We do appreciate it. Finally, there's a question about how we treat Andre, because perhaps Roman and I sometimes come off a little bit brisk and whatnot with him. Well, he can take it. Off camera, he gives it back in spades. But the truth is that on camera, perhaps we do give him a little bit too much guff, but he's our buddy. He's also our producer. Many of you don't know that. He actually goes and puts these videos together quite often. He's also like a monster with logistics and timing, getting our crews to where we need to go and giving us information about the vehicles before we actually get there. He does all of this and then he goes in front of the camera and puts up with our crap. So yes, he does put up with an all out of it, but at the same time, he can take it, I promise. And what's really important with Andre, besides the fact that he likes to go underwater, is the fact that he's really good at treading water and is able to take it from us, right? If you guys have more sympathetic statements that you want to give Andre, write them below. I'm sure he'll love seeing that. Anyway, for the Fastlane Car and for TFL Now, this is Nathan Adlin. Don't forget to go to tflcar.com for news, views, and real-world reviews. And don't forget to write your questions down below. Hey, I try to get to as many as I can. The more unique ones are the ones I try to grab onto. So don't forget that. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.